Here, I want to walk you through the Chatbot code and some of the exercises in Activity 2 and give you an idea of what to do moving forward for the later activities. When you open up the Replit linked from Schoology, the instructions should appear. It might be helpful to turn on the preview button when you hover over the instructions so that you can see the markdown tab that displays everything that you would need to do for each activity, especially the exercises, which I'm going to go through for 2 and in this video. But here's a quick tour, brand new in terms of how a program kind of comes together, because when you run it, most of the code is not in this main class. Most of the code that happens when you run the program exists in this file called chatbot.java. But in the main class, a lot of this should look familiar. The only thing that's brand new is this chatbot object on line 5. That creates a chatbot object, and once I create that, I can call chatbot methods like get greeting and the big one, get response, that takes in a string called statement in this case. And it just keeps asking for you to type something in, and it takes whatever they type in and analyzes it and tries to get a appropriate response. And it's up to you as the programmer to figure out the best response based on what they typed in. So to the chatbot code we go. So the first exercise is, how do we change the greeting? How does this file where we actually run the program connect with this file, the chatbot? Well, the reason is they're connected is because of line 5. You create that chatbot object, and therefore you can call the chatbot methods. And the first one that's called is get greeting. So that means if I run this program, you can see it says hello, let's talk. If I change that to hello, let's chat and run it again, my chatbot object displays that message instead. So they are tied together. If I change the method here, the object that calls that method will display that string. Next, like I said, the big part of the program is get response. And that happens right here. It takes in what they type in and analyzes it. And I guess one of the first things that you're going to do is see if anywhere in, so let's just look at this first conditional. This get response is going to return a string at the end. That is the response that the computer is trying to guess you're talking about. So down here, eventually this method returns the response, and a bunch of conditionals set that response to a value. The first one is, so this is something that should look familiar to you, is if the statement, okay, has the characters NO anywhere in it, okay, that means the index of NO will be greater than or equal to 0. That, again, to a computer, this translates to, are the characters NO anywhere in statement, okay? Which means when I run this code, if I were to type in no, okay, clearly it's going to say why it's so negative, okay? There's a problem with this, of course, that we will try to fix later. If I say I like snow, okay, it will also say why it's so negative, because the characters NO are embedded in the word snow. So that's a problem we will deal with later. But that is how this chatbot generates a response. Okay. To fix that error, so if I type in capital No, the reason that works is because I am converting the statement to lowercase. So if I take out that statement right there, or comment it out, and rerun my program, okay, and I type in no, okay, the why so negative does not appear. In fact, nothing does for some strange reason. And that is because it does not recognize NO, okay, the capital letters. But if I do that, now that fixes that. It converts the statement to lowercase and reassigns it back into itself. Next, this is part part of your activity is convert as a lowercase. We'll get to that one in a minute. Have it respond to no text. Okay, meaning if I don't type anything in, this is right here. If they typed in nothing, okay, that means there are no characters in the statement string. And again, if I just hit return, it'll say type something, please. Okay, typed in nothing. So that's how you do that. Now, here's where it starts to analyze the statement in a little bit more detail. This is ugly. We're going to fix that on the next activity. But this says anywhere in statement are the characters mother, is it or father or sister or brother. The response that's generated is tell me more about your family. Okay, and we can copy that situation, that else if, for any sets of words like pets. We could copy and paste that entire block and say, look, does statement contain dog? Does statement contain fish? Or is there an index of inside of statement with FISH or cat or gator or whatever? And you can generate a response that way. So that's the first thing that you can fix to make your statement a little. That means if I type something in, I have a fish, it will say, tell me more about your pets. Okay. And the last thing that we want to modify in activity 2 is the final thing. So I'll come back to line 45 in a second. And the next video, in fact, is if nothing happens, okay? I mean, none of these are activated, right? I actually type something. I don't have the characters no. I don't type in mother, father, sister, brother, or any pets. So if I run that again, and I type in gibberish or anything, it's going to generate a random response, or should. I'm not sure why it's not. But the reason that happens is if it gets all the way down, says get random response, that's actually calling a method down here that has, that's why, 4 random responses, okay? And depending upon that random number that's generated, the response that's generated or assigned is returned back into the response in the get method up here. And so those two are connected by that method right there. Your job is to change that number to 7 like I had it, and add some random responses. So add some else ifs down here. So if you, now it should work. If I say you don't say, that must have generated a random number of 3. So that assigned response to you don't say, which returned it, assigned it to the response method up here, and returned it like so. So your job for the final part activity for part 2 is to add 3 more responses to the get random response method. Good luck, and tune in to the next video to walk through what to do for activity 3.